Hello and welcome to the first episode of our ranked VGC ladder climb. I have not been playing much VGC this season, to be honest, and as I'm getting back into things, I thought it might be a good idea to document this journey to the top and hopefully learn a thing or two along the way, either you or me, through this process. If not, I hope you stick around to enjoy some of the wackier picks we're going to be trying out on the channel, and for the first episode, we're going to be starting with Buzzwole. Now, I think Buzzwole is actually a very underrated pick in this meta. His big problem, obviously, is that weak special defense stat and the fact that he has to go up against a lot of powerful max Airstream users. But if you can take out those Airstream users with something like the Regieleki or the Mammoswine that we've got on this team, oftentimes he can just sweep through an entire team, and he is so bulky on the physical side that nothing can really take him out. So I've got him paired with an Assault Vest here, really good coverage moves too, so makes use of that for attacking move slots. And yeah, a lot of special defense investment and a little bit into HP attack and some into speed as well to outspeed some of the threats in the meta, but really you're relying on the Regieleki and the Mammoswine as those fast threats, paired up with some support from Incineroar and the Whimsicott, and then also you got Tapu Fini with just a very standard Calm Mindset to provide just a really strong water type, and Fini's just a really, really good pick in the meta. Misty Terrain is a huge help against Torkoal and Venusaur or any other stuff that relies on sleep or anything like that. So let's just jump in and see what we're up against. Yeah, you can see I've been playing a little bit, but not so much, and I actually took last season off, so ended up ending in the, I think, Great Ball tier, because you just automatically get slotted there if you were Master Ball the tier before. Alright, so the first team, pretty standard minus the Dragonite, but we got Landorus, Torkoal and Venusaur, Regieleki, Porygon 2, and the Dragonite. So, couple things to watch out for. The Porygon 2 could self-activate a weakness policy on the Dragonite, but I don't know if that's really what they're going to be going for here. Right off the bat, Mammoswine looks really good here. Only weak, really, to the Torkoal, and has a pretty good matchup into everything else. I think we can actually just go Torkoal Eleki here, or sorry, Regieleki and the Mammoswine here, and then in the back, this is not a great game for Buzzwole, to be honest, so we might just leave that one behind. Fini can be strong if it's out of stun, or even just as a max threat late game if we don't end up maxing that Mammoswine at the beginning. And then Incineroar for fake out support, as well as the Intimidate doesn't hurt. I'm curious to see if this Dragonite is running multi-scale or Inner Focus. I was thinking in my kind of theory crafting that Inner Focus might be a good pick on the Dragonite, but a lot of them seem to be running multi-scale from what I've been seeing on the ladder. So we'll have to see what they pick here. But I think this lead should be pretty good into most of the matchups that might come out. And it is just straight into Torkoal Venusaur. Okay. So one of the things we can do here is just go for a Volt Switch into the Venusaur, and then go ahead and max and go for a Max Quake into the Torkoal. Well, they're not maxing Venusaur. Interesting. So I guess they're just going straight for the Sleep Powder stuff. Hailstorm into Venusaur might have been smarter there, but we can just bring in Tapu Fini here. Yeah, so one of the nice things about Regieleki being able to outspeed the Venusaur, even in the sun, is that we can bring in Fini here. If they go for a Leaf Storm, obviously that's a really good call by them, but if they're not maxing, I would think they're going for Sleep Powder, and I just want to make sure that Mammoswine does not get put to sleep in this moment, because we really need to hit that Max Quake onto the Torkoal. Also break a Sash on the Venusaur. Yeah, and it is that Sleep Powder. So see, that's one of the good things about bringing Fini in the back, is you can surprise opponents like that, especially with Regieleki. Volt Switch is just so powerful for repositioning, and the Max Quake is just a one-shot onto the Torkoal. So we're in a really, really good spot right now. I'll be curious to see what they send out now. Without the Torkoal, Mammoswine should just sweep through the rest of their team. And we've got Oblivious on it too, obviously, so the Lando can't even get an Intimidate off. This is one of the things about Mammoswine right now, is it's just so good into so many of the meta picks that it really can catch people off guard. Even though, you know, I think it is getting a fair bit of use on the ladder, but still I think a little underrated in terms of how much we could be seeing it. Although with Colossal teams doing really well in the Players' Cup, it might not be the best pick moving forward. Alright, so... You know, they might go for a Vine Lash onto the Feeny. Feeny's not really doing anything here. I could go for a Calm Mind, but I kind of want to just get it out of threat, so I'm just going to switch into Incin. It could Quake, but, you know, I don't think there's any reason for them to, and go ahead and hit Venu with the Hailstorm. They don't have a great swap into it. Might as well just try and take it out now, and the Porygon 2 can set up that Trick Room, but, again, you know, it's not a huge concern if they do. We're already in a pretty good spot, I would say. And they just go for Sleep Powder again. So maybe it's a Scarf Venusaur and they just don't want to switch it out and they're just content sacking it here, but otherwise I don't really know why they would go for that play. So, you know, it must be something like that, unless it was just a mistake on their end. Maybe they didn't understand how Mist works. Not super high on the ladder right now, so that might be the case. And Porygon 2, I'm expecting just to... Okay, not even going for a Trick Room here, just going for the Thunderbolt. Yeah, so we'll see what their last Pokemon is. If it is that Landorus, I think we're in a really good spot here. But even if, you know, if it's anything else coming out here, I don't remember what else they had on the team. I think no matter what, Mammoswine should be in a pretty good spot to finish this out. Yeah, and that's the Landorus. So a lot of Landoruses don't carry Protect. They're either Choice Scarfed or Assault Vested. If the Venusaur was Choice Scarf for some reason. Although, I guess if it was Choice Scarf, it probably should outspeed the Alekian Sun. So I feel like that's not the case. But either way, I don't expect it to have Protect. I think it should max here. So I'm just going to go ahead and... I think hard pivot back into Feeny because we want to just keep the Incin alive. There's no point in sacking it, and then we can just max Hailstorm into the Lando. If they do have Protect, I would expect a max guard here. Some people are running Life Orb. Okay, and they just cancel it. Yeah, so I mean, there you can see that if a team's not prepared for the Mammoswine lead, it is really just oppressive. And Regieleki, with you know, max speed Regieleki is so good at pivoting just right out there into the Feeny and preventing any Sleep Powder stuff as well. So not a bad play for my opponent. If I didn't have Feeny in the back, I would have really been in a tough spot. I did expect the Venusaur to max there, but yeah, maybe some inexperience on their end, or they just weren't expecting me to have the Feeny at the back. And we got another opponent. All right, dude. All right, so I'm expecting a lot more Colossal now that, you know, it's done so well in the Players' Cup, and that is what we get here. So we do have to be careful. We can't fake out the Dragapult, so actually Dragapult Colossal here is really, really scary lead. And I think we're just going to have to go Regieleki and Feeny here. With the... I wonder if that's Dark or Shifu, or they just have double Water types on the team. Yeah, I don't think we want to bring the Buzzwole again here. You know what, actually, let's just bring the Buzzwole. Might not be the smartest call into this team. There are some Pokemon that give it some trouble here, but, you know, we built this team around the Buzzwole. We do want to just, you know, get to play around with it. So, yeah, I am definitely worried about this Colossal. This might be a rough matchup for the team, and maybe this is one of the weaknesses with the team. Again, we just recently built this, so just getting to try it out in these games and identify any weaknesses. So far, I know Rotom Heat can pose some trouble to the team. We don't have a great answer because there's not a Rock Ball user. But we'll see. Yeah, and that is the Dragapult Colossal. So this is a pretty scary lead. They probably... I mean, they really can just go for the Surf here. Surf into, you know, activate the Weakness Policy, activate the Steam Engine, and then they can go straight into a Max Overgrowth if they want. They might just want to set up the rocks. It's not really clear. don't really want to pivot out here. Thinking about just going for a Thunderbolt into the Colossal, and then maxing and going for the Geyser. This is a little bit scary because, you know, obviously with the weakness policy, Feeny might not survive this, but I don't really see a better play right here, so this is what we'll go for, and we'll just give it a shot, and hopefully it works out. The other thing they could do is set up screens with the Dragapult here, which is, you know, a light screen here would actually be really scary, but I don't know what kind of set they're running, so we'll see. Yeah, and they are just maxing, so that's pretty bad for us. If they do go for that Overgrowth, we're in a bad spot, but we'll see, we'll see. It's not clear exactly what they're going for yet. Could get lucky with the Thunderbolt Paralysis too, but you know, you never really want to rely on something like that. Really good damage though still, so if this doesn't KO out the Feeny, we're still in a really good spot, or if they for some reason didn't target Feeny, but I think it should just be into the Feeny here. Still, next turn Regieleki can just kill the Colossal. So I guess a better move here probably, if they do target down the Feeny, would have been to just protect the Feeny, and then go with another Thunderbolt next turn. Yeah, and that is the Overgrowth, so we'll see how, you know, Feeny's kind of bulky, it might be able to survive this. Oh, okay, yeah. So it does fine. So I guess that was an okay play. I guess I should have that calc memorized, but Colossal was not really big when I was building this team, and it's only really picked up steam lately, so I haven't been really paying attention to it, but, you know, it should be making its way back into the meta now. This is actually putting us in a really good spot because they didn't get the Vocalith off, and so now my Feeny's in a pretty decent spot. They can bring in here the Water Urshifu if they have it, which is pretty strong, but again, we've got a Lucky on the field, so I'm not super scared about setting up the rain for anything on their team. And this Dragapult shouldn't do a whole lot now. Grassy Terrain is nice too to just give us a little bit of recovery. As the Urshifu, is it the Dark Urshifu? I believe that's Rapid Strike. Yeah, so that is. They can go for an Aqua Jet here. I'm not super scared. I'm just going to go ahead and throw a Thunderbolt into the Urshifu and go ahead and Starfall the Dragapult. Even with the Choice Scarf variant, we should outspeed, I believe, on the Regieleki, so. But yeah, I mean, this is one of the dangers of Colossal. Even if you do set it up, sometimes it can just take so much damage right from the start. This KO? It might. No, okay, good. Yeah, I mean, Rain boosted Aqua Jet was their best bet there. Focus Sash is fine, honestly. Ah, Phantom Force. That's a little bit surprising for me to see, honestly, but good move on them. I was not expecting the Phantom Force on a Dragapult that is, you know, more of a supportive set usually to protect the Colossal, but good move from them. Does waste a turn on my max and also kind of keep them in this, not able to take a KO there. I'm going to swap out the Aleki here into the Buzzwole. Again, a really good defense down on the Buzzwole. Even with rain boosted Aqua Jet, I should survive that. And then, don't want to swap into the Ensign because, you know, obviously an Aqua Jet is going to do a lot of damage there. And then we can actually just Starfall into the Dragapult now because it's going to come out of the Phantom Force and can't really do anything about that. They could have double up into the spot, but Buzzwole is really physically defensive, so I think it should take this like a champ. Yeah, and there's the Aqua Jet again. And the Phantom Force into Feeny. Totally fine. Oh, that was a crit. Yeah, I was wondering why that did so much damage. But that's actually kind of nice because it crit, it activates our berry. And we get the Starfall off. And we know there's no Sash on it because the Sash is on the Urshifu, so that should just be a KO. Yep. See, Feeny is just so strong when it gets going too, which is part of why it's on the team. Override the Grassy Terrain. A lot of Colossal teams have Rillaboom. I don't believe this one does. Rillaboom is, again, something that you kind of want to be able to pressure things like the Feeny that do give Colossal a hard time. So that might be something this person would want to add to their team, but you know, it is just such a common core pairing. Okay, so the Feeny comes out. It's good that we preserved the Aleki here. So Urshifu might be able to knock me out. I'm just going to go ahead and click Iron Head into the Urshifu here. Or actually, you can just go with the Leech Life. And go ahead and protect the Feeny. Actually, there's no point in protecting against the Urshifu, I guess. So, you can just go for a Muddy Water here. I expect the Tapu Fini is going to focus down the Buzzwole, but we'll see. Thunder Punch. Yeah, some Urshifus do run that. Okay, this should be fine though. Calm Mind from Fini would be annoying here, but again, this is going to be a 3v1, so it's a big ask from Fini to be able to live through this. I wonder what the set is. Get the Beast Boost active on Buzzwole. Yeah, I mean, this is not really the way we want to be playing with Buzzwole. We want to be able to max it and get... Ooh, that might be Specs. Or maybe that just KOs. Okay. So now we go into Aleki and Incin. So this is a little bit scary because, you know, Incin doesn't have much damage into the Fini. It should be a Protect here from the Fini, although if it is Specs, then it won't be able to Protect, and we should be able to get the Fake Out into 2 Thunderbolts, and it should just be game from there. But who knows? They could be running Protect. That might just be something Buzzwole can't live. Again, it does have a pretty weak special attack. But here we're just free to Fake Out into a Thunderbolt, and I believe that should KO just 1 Thunderbolt with no boosts, yeah. So that might have been Specs. That might be why I got the KO there. But even if it doesn't KO, another Thunderbolt probably will. Yeah, and that's the game. Well played by my opponent, you know, towards the end of it, but I think their misplay with the Colossal at the beginning was, and this is something you see with the Colossals a lot, is they'll tend to just lead the Colossal and the Dragapult and max right from the beginning. But if you are going to only get 1 max move off with the Colossal, you really want it to be that Vocalith, because a big selling point, obviously, is that continual damage. And they were just not able to get it off there, so... we'll play one more with this team, and that'll be it for today, but... Yeah, another one maybe just takes us into Master Ball, so that'd be nice. Yeah, I've been playing with this team a little bit. It's done pretty well so far. I think I've only got maybe one loss in the time I've been playing with it. Practiced it a little bit before taking it onto the onto camera, but let me know what you guys think about the video, or about the team, because it is something that I've just been kind of theory crafting. So far I've found the Whimsicott is not super helpful. I might take that out of the team, but I'm not totally sure yet what would take that spot. Alright, again, another really standard team here. Glaster and Trick Room is a little scary. This is actually a pretty good Buzzwole team. Landorus is really annoying for it to deal with, but aside from that, nothing really threatens it. So I think we want to set up for a Buzzwole late game. I think one thing we can do here is just... We want to probably lead with the Mammoswine, which has a really good matchup into some of the things that they're sending out here. And we can go ahead and pair that with Regieleki. And then I think taking Buzzwole and Incin at the back is going to be the move. So one of the things that you can do with Regieleki lead and Buzzwole at the back is just Volt Switch to bait out ground-type attacks, like often physical ground-type attacks that just don't do much damage to the Buzzwole at all. It's a really, really good switch to have in the back, too. Okay, Dragapult and Dusclops come out, so they're probably going to try and set up the Trick Room here. Don't have a great answer to that. I've been meaning to put Taunt on the Incineroar. I actually forgot to do that between our games, or the games I was playing on it yesterday, but that'll be something to do in the future. So I think here we want to Volt Switch out with the Aleki. I don't really want to just give him a free switch in by KOing the Dragapult. I guess you could Dynamax the Dragapult here, but if you're leading it like this, I kind of think you're going for screens right now, setting up screens and then also getting off a Trick Room. I'm just going to Icicle Crash into the Dusclops and go ahead and Volt Switch into it as well. Oh, it's just a Draco Meteor. I guess that's Scarf then, to outspeed the Aleki. Oh, interesting tech. Yeah, I guess that just KOs. Oh, okay, so well played by them. I guess they've specifically been probably using that to counter Regieleki. So if we get a flinch here, we're in a pretty good spot. I guess, you know, there's a chance they're not going for the Trick Room, but I think it's most likely Trick Room. Okay, so we do get the flinch. I think we can just go straight into Buzzwole here. Their Dragapult's pretty useless with that minus special attack, especially if it's Choice Scarf and then it's locked into the Draco Meteor. I'm not super scared of it. And I think I just want to double up into the Dusclops again and hit it with a Steel Spike so we can start getting that defense stat up. I do think it's interesting when you run into things like that, like Scarf Dragapult, which, you know, it is a good way, I guess, of just immediately taking out a Regieleki. Most of them are not very bulky, and if they're not bulky, then as long as you can outspeed it, they're really relying on getting those Volt Switches off oftentimes and getting out of dangerous situations. So, interesting, really good tech, I think, for best of ones if your goal is to just immediately eliminate the Eleki, or just have an option that's faster than it if you need to set up anything first. Yeah, that does not do very much, especially with their Assault Vest. And, you know, the Dragapult's really useless now. They're going to have to switch it out at some point. So I'm just content kind of leaving it in here because, you know, they effectively have one Pokemon on the field. That flinch was super helpful turn 1, but even still, I think we're in a really good spot here. Oh my god. Dusclops hangs on. Yeah, that Pokemon is just so bulky. Okay, so Trick Room will probably go up here if that is what they were going for, but it's not the end of the world. We want to just kind of try and waste some of their Trick Room turns now. I can Ice Shard into the Dusclops to KO it, which I actually do want to do in case they have Pain Split. I really don't want them to get a Pain Split off here. And then I'm just going to go ahead and Steel Spike again into the Dragapult. I really just want to get the defenses up for what is probably the Glastrier. Although if this is a Glastrier switch in, yeah. This might proc the weakness policy, but it should do a decent amount of damage too. So pretty good switch in there. Unless I crit or something and this just does an obscene amount of damage, but really getting the weakness policy off is going to negate those 2 defense boosts I got. Oh, that is just such good damage. So is it policy? Yeah, it is policy. Okay, they should definitely max the Glastrier here. The question is if they're going to go for Max Guard or not. To just negate my last turn of Dynamax, which might be a smart move from them. If they do have Landorus... Okay, they don't have Landorus. The question here is if I want to hard switch the Mammoswine out into the Ensign. It should tank whatever they attack into me, but I also do have to be worried about a Max Guard on the Glastrier into... Yeah, I actually think this is a pretty good spot to swap it out. I don't think they go for a Max Quake here. And it is possible that they Max Guard the Glastrier, but I think I just want to put some pressure on it. If I can make them use one of their turns for a Max Guard, I think I'm totally fine with that, even if I don't get that last boost off. And I do get to get the Intimidate off here, so I can just lower its attack by 1 already. One of the things they could have gone, I guess, for is a Max Knuckle into the Instant, but if they don't Max Guard here, I'm kind of fine with that trade. I don't believe a +1 Knuckle KOs my Instant, but we will see. Maybe with a Grassy Glide too. Yeah, and the Rillaboom doesn't have a ton of threat into the Buzzwole here, which is again why you see Buzzwole can be really helpful in this meta into these physical attackers. There's not a whole lot it can do, especially with these defense boosts and the attack. Yeah, okay, so they are going for a Steel Spike here, so the Instant was a good call there. Oh, that still does so much damage. Oh, it's a crit. Okay, that explains it. Yeah, I did not think it should be doing that much, but at least we'll proc the Citrus Berry here, so my Instant can heal a little bit. Rillaboom might be locked into Grassy Clyde. Unclear. Otherwise, I might have just been going for, I would think, a Fake out there, but I don't think this will KO, but it should do decent damage, yeah. Buzzwole's attack is not amazing if it's not getting any Beast Boosts off. I mean, it's pretty good, but Glastrier is just so bulky, especially with the grassy terrain now. It's going to be regenning. So we'll have to see. Their Rillaboom really doesn't do much right now, and especially in Trick Room, their Dragapult's not going to do much, so I'm really just worried about the Glastrier. Only 2 turns of Trick Room. I don't think that the double up should kill my Instant, considering that the first one had to crit, unless they crit again, which would be really unfortunate. So I'm just going to go ahead and Parting Shot into the Glastrier, and Leech Life into the Rillaboom in case they target down. I want to get some healing up, because I do want to keep my Buzzwole alive. Okay, they are just going for the KO on Instant. So if we live this Steel Spike... Yeah, Instant takes that like a champ. Alright, so we get the Parting Shot off, which is really good. We just want to effectively negate now the +2 on the attack. I really think they should be going for Knuckles here, but I guess they just want to up their defenses, or maybe they're not carrying close combat, although that's kind of a staple in Glastrier, so I don't know why they wouldn't. Alright, and now we can just switch back into Mammoswine. He's not super important in this matchup anymore. I probably will just cycle him back out because I don't really want to give the Glastrier a free attack boost from the Chilling May. Oh yeah, that's pretty good damage, even through the 2 defense boosts that it's gotten. Yeah, again, the Rillaboom's not a huge threat. I could have just attacked into the Glastrier there. What I was worried about is just them getting a lot of chip damage off onto the Buzzwole and then being able to kill it next turn through another double up. And I just really want to keep the Buzzwole alive right now because it should KO that Glastrier once the Dynamax is over. So the question here is, I guess I could just go for a Protect here and stall out the last turn of Dynamax and then swap the Instant back in. And I think I like that play because Instant could die to a crit. And I do want to just minimize the chance that happens. So Steel Spike should not be KOing through the Protect. And I'll just go for an Iron Head here because next turn will be faster. So yeah, the team right now doesn't have great Trick Room answers. They are going for Knuckle. Yeah, so that won't KO. In terms of stopping Trick Room from getting up, you see we had to rely on Mammoswine's flinch at first, and then when the double up didn't KO Dusclops, they just got it up for free. But what it can do is really effectively stall out the Dynamax. Okay, they knock off the Assault Vest, which doesn't matter at all. I guess into the Dragapult it will, but it's not really a big deal. Yeah, we're not doing a ton of damage into the Glastrier, but that's okay. Every bit of chip will help. Alright, Trick Room is over. I do want to close combat into the Glastrier, but they could switch in. Actually, if they switch in the Dragapult, we're fine because they're losing all their defense boosts. So I'm just going to go ahead and close combat into Glastrier. I don't know if this kills. They have 2 defense boosts. But we'll give it a shot. And they could predict here and go for a close combat into the Instant. But Instant's kind of done its job. And if it survives, it gets the Fake Out off. Okay, yeah. So that's doing nothing into Buzzwole. And yeah, it does KO. So that should seal up the game. We do need to be a little worried about Dragapult KOing now that we don't have our Assault Vest. The special defense is going to be pretty weak on our Buzzwole. But even if that's the case, I think Mammoswine should be able to just close it out. So the question is if I want to Flare Blitz the Rillaboom or Darkest Lariat the Dragapult. I think Buzzwole is always going to go for... I think I just double up into the Dragapult here. So the question is if a Draco Meteor KOs here. Oh, they carry Flamethrower. Okay, that might KO. Yeah. Oh, and it's a crit. I don't know if that mattered. Buzzwole is pretty bulky, and I have so much special defense investment, but I assume this is a max special attack Dragapult, so it probably didn't matter, to be honest. Okay, and the grass is gone now, so they don't have priority on Grassy Glide, which means Mammoswine will definitely just be able to KO the Dragapult here within Ice Shard. The question is if they're carrying Protect. So far we've seen Flamethrower, Draco Meteor, and... Oh, actually they're locked into Flamethrower now, so they can't Protect. So we can just Ice Shard for the KO. Oh, wait, no, they are... the Phantom Force Dragapult was the other game. Yeah, it's been a long day. Or no, that was this game. Okay. Forgive my scrambled brain. Yeah, Rillaboom only has knockoff into the instant or Grassy Glide. I mean, those are just not doing any damage at this point. And Flare Blitz, yeah, Mammoswine should just be able to pick up the KO after that damage. And we get the burn. Not that it matters, but I guess nice to have. So, Flare Blitz and Ice Shard just win us the game. Yeah, so you see Buzzwole, this game was really, really good. It's not really picking up KOs left and right right off the bat, but one of the things that you can do with it, since it has such a good matchup into all of the physical carries of this meta, is you can just spam Steel Spikes while you're maxed, and then afterwards and during, Buzzwole is just taking 0 damage from these threats. Like Rillaboom you saw there was doing nothing, Glastrier was doing nothing, and that's the case with a lot of the threats. Metagross is a similar one. Some of them carries on Headbutt, but a lot of them don't, and really it's not doing much damage into you. So yeah, I mean, let me know what you think and about this team and about Buzzwole more generally. I'm looking, open to suggestions about how to change up the team, especially the Whimsicott. I just find myself barely ever bringing it sometimes into Tailwind matchups when I want to just mirror the Tailwind, but a lot of times it doesn't seem really useful, except for Helping Hand spam, which is okay, but I don't know if it's the best thing on this team. And again, there is that weakness with certain matchups, like potentially the Colossal, potentially the Rotom Heat, but yeah, well, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think, and I'll be back later with more videos.